Hey, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a hardback life. My name is Jordan. And by the way, you guys, first off, I want to apologize and tell you why I have not posted. My last video, I think, was 2 weeks ago. And yeah, and I apologize for the lighting, by the way. I have strong LED lights, but a couple of them are burnt out. So yeah. So this is the lighting right now. So again, I apologize for that. But okay, so let me get into real quick why I haven't posted in a couple weeks, and then we'll go off from the video from there. Okay, so it all started maybe 2 weeks ago. Like, no, actually a couple days after I posted my video. Like an idiot, I spilled some liquid on my laptop. Can you believe that? Yeah. So, yeah, I spilled Dr. Pepper, which is my favorite soda, by the way. If you were to ever gift me anything other than books, Dr. Pepper would be the way to go. Just saying. But, yeah, so I spilled Dr. Pepper on my laptop. That was no fun. Immediately turned my computer off and unplugged any power sources that were in my computer. And then I proceeded to wipe off my computer for any liquid that was continuing to spill into my computer. Which, by the way, I didn't spill the whole thing of Dr. Pepper, my whole drink. I picked it up, like, with the half the content spilled. That's besides the point, though. But yeah, I quickly wiped my computer down, and then I turned it upside down to try and get the liquid to drain, which was going okay. And then I took it to another room, laid it on a bunch of towels so that the towels could hopefully soak up all the Dr. Pepper that got into my laptop's keyboard and into the system. And then, whatever, I looked up other instructions on what to do. And, yeah, that wasn't going well. But, yeah, so I waited about just over 30 hours to see if it would turn on. Because they said you have to wait 24 to 48 hours to see if it was still working. And my laptop's green light was flashing to turn it on, but it wasn't turning on. So my computer was basically dead. And I was like freaking out. And I finally took it into Revive IT, which is the place I got the computer, on Wednesday, because I told them the previous day what the damage was, and they miraculously fixed it. And I got it back on Saturday, and it wasn't even that much. It only cost me like $95 plus tax. So that was like a blessing, because I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to drop hundreds of dollars, of which I do not have right now because I don't get paid till like Friday. So I was freaking out, and luckily, yeah, that was my train wreck of that, and plus I just felt less motivated to read because I was thinking about my laptop situation. So, yeah. But anyway, you guys, that's the poor sob story, but in the end, it was a great thing because I got my laptop back and it didn't cost me much. Moral of the story is, when you have liquids by your computer, make sure there is a lid on your liquid. A sealable lid so when it does fall down, it doesn't, it's sealed and doesn't spill on your computer. Anyway, let's continue with the video. So, today, we're just going to be talking about my reading plans for the rest of October. And we're also going to talk about what I've read so far. Now, like I think I've said, I've only read 2 books in October, but the 2 books I've read, I'm so happy I read them because they were really good. And let me get those for you. Okay, so the 2 books I read for the month of October so far are Vanishing Stair, which is the second book in the Truly Devious trilogy by Maureen Johnson, and Crooked Kingdom, which is the second and final book in the Six of Crows duology. And I have to say, I freaking loved both of them. Like, both of these were so good in different ways. So, first book I finished Crooked Kingdom. Like I said, second book in the final book of the Six of Crows duology. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. And I said on my bookstagram page, I was like, oh, this is now going to be on the list of favorite book series of all time. And I have quite a few of those. But, oh my god, this book series was so good. No wonder why the hype is, like, real. Like, the hype is, like, crazy about the Six of Crows duology. I gave both books 5 stars because, ah, Lee Bardugo, man. This was my first reading by Lee Bardugo of the Six of Crows duology, and I loved every minute of it. Her character building is just ridiculous. Like, okay, so if you don't know what the book series is about, it's about 6 people who come together to basically commit a heist. They have to extract a person from this highly secure, like, prison. And oh my god, like I said, the character development is so good in this book. Like, that's the main focus of this book. I mean, the plot is a huge driver as well, but the character building is so good. And all of the characters, I just felt some. I can't really spoil this, so I'm trying to be as, like, vague but not too vague. But the characters, by the way, are Kaz Brecker, Nina Zenik, Wyland Van Eck, Jasper Fahey, I think is how you say his last name, Inej Gaffa, and Matthias Hovar. Or is it Helvar? Matthias Helvar. And each of them come from different backgrounds. And I can't say too much about them because that'll spoil a lot. But oh my god. Yeah, I said in my last video that I would get more in depth of the Six of Crows duology. Like, I do a non-spoiler and a spoiler review. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. Alright, and the second book I read for the month, I just finished it last Sunday, was The Vanishing Stair. Fantastic book, you guys. This is the second book in the Truly Devious trilogy by Maureen Johnson. And this is a dark academia type book with a murder mystery involved. And so the premise of this book is our main character, Stevie Bell, is accepted to this private school called Ellingham Academy, which is a prestigious private school which only accepts the best and the brightest students. And her, main shtick is she loves crime and solving it. So her main thing is when she goes to the school is to solve the crime of at Ellingham Academy that happened in the 1930s of our the guy who created the school, Albert Ellingham. His wife and daughter were kidnapped and murdered. And then also a student named Dottie Epstein was also murdered because of she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, yeah, the whole book series is on that premise, like Stevie having to solve those cases. But at the same time, and this is not a spoiler because it mentions it on the synopsis of each book, a student dies. A student in present time dies, and she also has to figure out how that happened as well. And this book goes back and forth between the past and the present, so we get glimpses from the past of like how the crime like happened and how things are progressing to try and figure it out. And then also in the present, how Stevie's trying to figure it out. So, fantastic. And I love this book. And I cannot wait to read the final one. Let's get into the books that I have planned for reading this month. To get into that, I just wanted to share. This is Hand on the Wall, which is the third and final book in the Truly Devious series, which I'm going to read that next month. Because in November, I'm going to make that a series mainly month. Make that a month where I focus on mainly book series. So I'm super excited about that, and this is the final one, so I cannot wait to read the conclusion. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Okay. On to my reading plans for the rest of October. And I think I have like 5 or 6 days, because Halloween is on Saturday, so today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I have 4 days to read as much as I can. That is not a lot. So, but I think I can do it because I'm going to be using audiobooks for some of these books. And first book I started actually a couple days ago, is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. Now, I mentioned that Stephen King was going to be part of my author dedication thing where I try to read multiple books by the author, and then I decide whether I want to continue reading books by said author. And so far, I just started Pet Sematary. Well, I'm on page 105, but I'm liking it a lot so far, and it's starting to get creepy. But it's not like creepy to the point where I just want to put it down and run away, which is good. But I really like his character building, and then obviously world building where they're at in Maine. And like I said, I love the characters in this book so far. So I'm enjoying Pet Sematary. I hope to finish it within by the end of the month. If not, then I tried. But I'm going to continue reading it next month if I don't finish it. But I'm determined to finish it. I'm also simultaneously reading Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which is the first book in the Alex Stern series. I heard it's going to be 7 books. So props to Leigh Bardugo for making a continuous series. And this is an adult series, by the way. This is about a girl named Alex who she attends this. It's another dark academia book, by the way. She attends this school, and while she's at the school, I guess a ton of the students get involved in a cult, and they do some dark magic, which causes a lot of problems along the way. And also our main character, I guess, survived, was the only survivor of like a major accident. So that's also really exciting because it's going to add more drama to this book. But anyway, I've heard so many mixed reviews about this book. So I'm kind of scared because I absolutely adored Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and I just don't want to dislike one of her books after just like being immersed into a different world where I just fell in love with the characters. So I'm hoping this proves to be different. I haven't really touched on this book. I think I'm like first chapter still, so yeah. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Next book, Full Moon by Jim Butcher. This is the second book in the Dresden Files series. This is about a guy named Harry Dresden who is a wizard and also a detective. He helps the police solve supernatural and paranormal crimes. I read the first book back in July. I absolutely loved it, gave it 4 stars. It had the right amount of comedy and drama, obviously, and action, and it was super, super fun to read. And it's only like, each book is only like, just on average, like 350 to 400 pages. So I think I could get done with this pretty quickly before the end of the month. I'm actually going to do audiobook for this mostly because I want to read as much as I can, like I said, in the next 4 or 5 days. But I'm going to continue this series, and I have the third one as well. So I'm going to be reading the third book in November for my series-focused books. So I'm really excited about that. But this is Full Moon, not Full Moon. Full Moon by Jim Butcher. Next one we have on our list of books I hope to finish before the end of the month. The House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Or is it Aaron A. Craig? I almost said M. Craig. Aaron A. Craig, this is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses fairy tale, which I still need to look that up because I don't know anything about that fairy tale. Anyway, in this story, our main character and her 11 sisters are princesses, or, well, I don't know if they're princesses, but like each night, she and, or one of her sisters goes to this ball and then they die. Like, it's so the main character has to figure out what is happening, or like to her sisters, like how this is happening, how they're getting lured to this ball and then just dying before she ends up being the next target. So yeah, it's kind of horror-ish and creepy, but also, yeah, it's got that Halloween vibe because it's a fairy tale as well. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. Haley in Haley in Bookland, I think her channel is called. I love her channel, and she really recommends this book. And I got this book back in, I want to say, March or April, and I've been trying to read it, but I have not yet. So let's hope I get to it in the next few days. If not, I will definitely read it in November. Our next book is A Deadly Education. This is by Naomi Novik. This book has received a lot of controversy in the last month, this whole month, because of just, I guess, some passages that involve racism and other stuff in this book. Now, I'm just gonna read it just to read it, and if I don't like it, which honestly I won't be able to say if I won't like it yet because I haven't read it, but I definitely want to read this just to get it over with, and if I don't like it, then I'm just gonna give it away, or give it to my store Goodwill, which is where I work, or whatever. Because yeah, I don't like the fact that obviously there's racism, like, in this book, but we'll see. Yeah, so if anybody in the comments has read anything or read this book, please let me know. Just don't obviously spoil it for me, but just tell me some stuff if you've read it. Right. This is also a dark academia book, by the way. If I didn't say it before, this is about a girl who... this is about our main character who comes to this school. I think the series is called Lesson 1 of the Lessons of the Scholarmans. And basically, at this school, there's no teachers, there's no rules. The basic way to, when you go to the school, the main objective is to survive. Because there's some creepy creatures and stuff like that. And, yeah. Anyway, so, Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. And as you guys know, I have said it multiple times throughout this channel, I decided over the last few months that I would do a Twilight reread. And this is only the second time I've been reading through this series in my life. I read it for the first time when I was 18, and now I'm 30. So I just want to see how my opinion has changed over the years. And so far with this whole Twilight reread, I haven't hated the book series. So that's all a difference, obviously. So we have Breaking Dawn, and then we have Midnight Sun. So Breaking Dawn is the fourth and final book in the Twilight saga. And then Midnight Sun is the companion novel to the series, which is the retelling of Twilight. Now, I've heard better reviews for this one, so it gives me some hope. So yeah. I'm gonna try and read this one via audiobook. It shouldn't take me that long. But yeah, like I said, a lot of books that I gotta read. Okay, and our next three books, I'm just probably not going to read them, but I'm going to try to. This one, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I'm going to read this one first for sure when it comes to her books. I've not read a V.E. Schwab book yet, and I've been meaning to, but I just haven't really forced myself to. But I'm really excited about this one. This is about a girl named Addie LaRue who basically, she was born in the 1600s, and she was born in a time where I guess women were taught to be a good wife and be submissive to your husband and all that stuff. And she doesn't want to be tied down. She wants to live life. So she makes a deal with a god or devil or something like that. I can't remember. And she wants to be immortal. And the evil being gives her that, grants her that wish, but at the cost of everyone who comes in contact with her will forever forget who she is. And in this story, like several hundred years later, we meet another main character who does meet her, but he remembers who she is. And thus begins a love story, which I've heard V.E. Schwab doesn't really do romance in her books, so this will be like a huge first. I mean, she does it, but she doesn't like do it like big timey like some other authors do. But yeah, this will be her major big first doing romance in a huge way. I guess that's what I've heard. So really, really excited about reading this book. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. All right, I'm gonna read Cell, which is a shorter Stephen King book. It's like just over 300 and something pages. So to continue my Stephen King read after I read or finish Pet Sematary. So I'm really excited about this one just because it's, like I said, it's a lighter Stephen King book. So looking forward to that. The last two books that I'm going to try to get to. I've started this one, you guys, and I've liked it so far. I'm on like chapter 1 or 2 of this book, but I just have not been able to bring myself to read it. And I'm mad at myself for that. And that is Malice. This is the first book in a quartet series by author John Gwynne. I've heard nothing but fabulous things about this book series. I mean, it's been compared to Game of Thrones. If that should give me anything, because I've read, I need to reread Game of Thrones, honestly. I've read the first 3 books, and like, I'm just kind of don't want to continue, because if George R.R. Martin has not released Winds of Winter in the next year, I don't know, I think I'm just going to give my books away. But we're not talking about Game of Thrones anymore and my frustration with George R.R. Martin. We're just, I need to get to Malice, though. Like I said, heard nothing but fantastic reviews. And I plan on getting to it, or at least continuing it this month. I don't think I'm going to finish it, because it's got like 612 pages. 612 pages. We'll see what happens. It could happen. You never know, right? And the last book that I plan on reading for Scherzies in October, if I can get to it, is The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. Or is it Micaiah? I don't. I think it's Micaiah Johnson. This is a futuristic sci-fi. Well, obviously it's futuristic sci-fi. Duh. This has to deal with multiverse, the multiverse, and our main character gets chosen as a candidate for multiverse traveling. And the thing is about this book is you cannot travel to the same universe that your counterpart is alive in, or that your doppelganger is alive in. And our main character Kara, her doppelgangers have died in over 300 of the worlds, which I think they've discovered 300 and I can't remember how many they've discovered in this book, but there's only 8 like versions of her left, and she has to go, I guess, discover how one of them died, because one of them died in a mysterious way that nobody knows for sure of how it happened, and it goes on from there. There's also some LGBTQ plus romance in this book, which I've already witnessed, or I've already started reading this book. I'm on chapter 1, and you can definitely see the longing for the characters have for each other already within the first chapter. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading it. Anyway, you guys, that was my reading plans for the month of October, for the rest of the month of October, even though there's like 4 or 5 days left. If you have read any of those books, give me just like brief comments of what you thought of them. And yeah, be looking for my Six of Crows duology book review, and then also my wrap up for the month of October, and then my TBR video. Anyway, you guys, that was it. And I can't wait to give you guys more content and talk to you guys more and stuff like that. Anyway, also, happy Halloween. If I didn't say that before, Halloween's this Saturday. Stay safe. And yeah, because we're still in this pandemic, y'all. And I love y'all.